So why do some people get sober and they put a tremendous amount of time together, they remain sober, and other folks just can't seem to put two and two together? They struggle, they relapse, or maybe they'll have 6 months or a year, 2 years, 5 years, only to get devastated by addiction all over again. Why does that happen? It comes down to one thing. It comes down to one thing. It's a decision. The first step tells us we admitted we were powerless. We're powerless over alcohol or drugs, and our lives had become unmanageable. Ground zero for any recovery is accepting that. It's accepting powerlessness. In 2 words, the words are, I can't. Once somebody embraces I can't, they will recover. And that's an acceptance of I can't. It's not just saying it, it's not I can't anymore, and I can't believe I did this, and I feel terrible. I need to give myself a couple of weeks off before I party again. It's I can't. It's a decision. And in recovery, that decision is called a bottom. Nobody recovers without having had their bottom. And if people are still testing, and if people are still using, they're not saying they're powerless. They're saying, I'm powerful. I can handle this. I can control this. They haven't gotten to I can't. It's surrender. I can't. It's making a decision that you're not going to get in the ring with the 300-pound gorilla anymore. Because even if that 300-pound gorilla lets you throw a few punches or even lets you last a round, eventually that gorilla is going to pounce on you and beat you down. In fact, that gorilla may kill you. So I can't means I am not going to get in the ring with that gorilla anymore. Why do some people relapse? Well, they figure after a period of time they can. They think they know better and they can handle it now. They haven't accepted that they can't. I got 4 reasons why I've been able to maintain my sobriety for over 30 years. Got 4 reasons, personal reasons. First reason, I never want to go through early sobriety again. It was brutal. Post-acute withdrawal syndrome was brutal. I woke up every morning, it felt like I had a bee's nest in my head, buzzing around. I couldn't think straight. I couldn't talk. I'm shooting this video, I still feel like I can't talk. I don't remember where my keys were, money, having conversations, remembering to take care of tasks. It took months to come out of it. That's the first thing. I don't want to ever go through early sobriety again and have to deal with that rush of emotion that comes up. Because when you stop using, well, the person that drove you to use, maybe that 13-year-old teenager who was insecure, that didn't know how to speak to people, or that whatever that life trauma event was that distorted you to the fact where you can't embrace reality and needed to hide from it and your emotions. Whatever that person, whoever that was at that time, that's who you're left with when you stop using. That's who that person. Now, what you did was you hit pause on growth, spiritually and emotionally. And now that person gets a chance to surface and work out the problems that drove them to use. And you get to embrace that person and take responsibility, take accountability. That's tremendously uncomfortable initially. but it's doable. So number one, I never want to go through early sobriety again. That's my first reason for not relapsing. The second reason is I never want to take for granted or disparage the sober reference and the gift of sobriety that I've received so far. I don't want to disrespect that blessing. I've been blessed. I don't want to throw it away. I don't want to toss it aside. I want to remain grateful for it. That's the second reason. The third reason, I have children. And now I had children, now I have grandchildren. I don't want to leave them anything less than excellence in how I walk. I don't want to leave them that example of relapse. And fourth and finally, after a period of time, people think, well, it's been a few years, maybe I can handle this now. I know more than I did then. And they have to test, am I really an alcoholic? Am I really a drug addict? Or was that just a rough time for me? Do I have to revisit it? Well, fortunately, at about 5 years sober, I had questioned that. But something happened and proved to me that I never, ever have to test it. I was at a social event, and I had a piece of cake. And I cut that piece of cake and I bit into it. And man, the circus came to town. I said, wow, this is the most incredible cake I've ever had in my life. My whole body lit up. I couldn't believe how good it tasted. I couldn't believe how wonderful I felt. I stuffed it down so quick, and I went to cut that second slice. And someone said, ooh, who bought the rum cake? Aha! Who bought the rum cake? If I ever had any doubt that I was a raging alcoholic, that was put to bed right then and there. I don't have to test those waters. I know who I am. And again, gratefully, it's been over 30 years. So, the absolute bottom line, ground zero requirement of anyone to establish recovery from addiction, to have any measure of success in sobriety long term, has to have a bottom. They have to decide, I'm done. The old saying in the rooms, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I don't know how many times some folks have to circle around and remain nauseous from the same decisions they make in their lives over and over again until they get sick and tired of being sick and tired. I had close friends, even family, related family members, who after arrests and hospital visits and diagnosis of cirrhosis of the liver still remain to exit this reality, like that movie, Leaving Las Vegas, and they drank themselves to death. So you're going to carry the message of recovery one way or the other. You'll either carry it with your sobriety, or an unfortunate legacy. That choice is yours. Choose to live. Choose to be grateful. Choose to get out and walk. Choose gratitude.